Hey, Carrie, as you know, I really love candy corn. So, what would you say is your favorite fall treat?
Even better than candy corn are the candy pumpkins.
Ooh, yeah.
But there's also pumpkin muffins,
Yep.
pumpkin pancakes,
Ooh,
pumpkin pie with the
yum.
little Cool Whip.
Yeah.
There's pumpkin scones.
Okay.
Those pumpkin cookies with the cream cheese frosting and a little cinnamon.
Yeah, yeah.
Pumpkin seeds.
Okay, I get it. I think you're really going to love today's episode.
Ooh, what's in it?
Pumpkin. Welcome to Mom's Wooden Spoon, where the recipes are retro and so are your hosts.
You can say that again.
So last season, Carrie came up with a great idea.
What, me?
Yeah, shocking, right?
What did I do?
Yeah. Well, since we made the not so delightful recipe called baked ham salad by I'm a Hog from that cookbook donated from our friend and listener McCall,
Yes.
we decided we should make her mother-in-law Connie's famous pumpkin crisp this season.
I mean, that sounds delicious. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I remember that I did not like the baked ham thing,
Oh no.
but I think I've blocked it out. I just remember it being warm.
It was warm and very salty because it had olives. The way Carrie says olive is great. Yeah, it was full of olives. So you didn't like it because it was super salty. I said it like you did.
Oh, I feel like I've won.
And then it's like the mayonnaise split and it got real liquidy.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, really?
Oh, that
yeah.
sounds awful.
I think you did block it out. It was not nice. And I didn't feel like we were doing any justice to the memory of Connie Hoyle by doing that recipe.
Sure,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, let's take all of these lovely things that she has
Yeah.
and pick the one nasty, which she probably never made.
She probably never made it. It was just a cookbook that she had.
Right.
So we were like, we need to do one that's delicious.
Yes.
From Connie Hoyle. And this is her specialty. I think we talked last time in the ham salad one that her sons would fight over the leftovers.
Oh, could it be more perfect for getting ready for Thanksgiving?
It could not. I'm pretty sure this is going to turn out awesome and that everybody's going to want to make this for their Thanksgiving meal.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't know the date that this recipe was published. So we thought it's okay if we don't know the date. We'll wing it.
Oh, I think that will be fantastic.
Yeah. It's different from the normal crisp that you would think of.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of, let's say, apple crisp, I think of the topping being oatmeal and brown sugar.
Yes.
Right. This does not have any oatmeal or any brown sugar.
Interesting.
Yes. You know what makes the crunchy top?
Butter.
Lots and lots of butter poured on top of a yellow cake mix, dry cake mix.
How simple.
Yeah.
Oh, you could use that for all different kinds of things that need a crisp.
I think you really could.
Ooh, I like it.
I can't wait to try this.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do is mix together pumpkin, evaporated milk, sugar, eggs, and cinnamon.
This could kind of replace your sweet potato casserole.
It's the same sweetness, probably.
I mean, probably less without marshmallows.
Well, this does have a frosting on the top.
Oh, okay. Maybe it falls directly in the dessert.
I think maybe. But if you're not a big fan of pumpkin pie, this might be something you like better. There's more texture to it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
Who knows?
It'll be fun to try.
Or if you just love all things pumpkin because you're a smart, intelligent human being,
pumpkin is good.
Then this may be perfect to enjoy with your pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that'd be nice.
Yeah.
You could have this for breakfast, I'm thinking. It's got egg in it. That's breakfast.
That's breakfast food right there. And it's good for you because it has pumpkin.
We were laughing. We were with a group of friends the other day, and I don't know, we got talking about holiday traditions.
Oh, yeah.
And I had mentioned that at Christmas, one of our holiday traditions is my daughter gets in her stocking every year a little tube of miniature M&Ms.
Oh,
and yeah, she loves them. And every year she opens that tube and eats every last flippin' M&M immediately upon finishing opening her gifts.
That's funny.
Yes. And somebody was like, oh, because, M&Ms, that's great first thing in the morning. And my response was, well, I felt kind of bad saying, hey, put down those M&Ms. Here's a cinnamon roll for you.
That's right. Come eat this cinnamon roll. Go for it. Yeah, it's Christmas morning.
That's kind of what I was
You
thinking.
got to eat your candy.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that this recipe thus far is going swimmingly.
I'm doing it all.
Yes,
all by my
Kristen
lonesome.
has opened a can of pumpkin. She is
What?
putting it in the bowl.
Yeah.
I am telling you
I love my
fabulous stories.
stories. Yeah.
This all is right in my world.
Yep. It is just par for the course.
Yep.
How about you take the church key and
Yes.
open the milk? But it says to shake well, and so you probably want to shake it before you use the church key.
Let's see how gooby it is.
Okay. That's awesome.
That's great.
All right.
Okay, so I use evaporated milk
Yes.
in my coffee.
Oh, do you now?
Flippin' love it.
Really?
And every time I do it, people get confused between evaporated and condensed.
Oh, that's right. It's very different, isn't it?
Very different. So evaporated is just milk, no sugar, nothing.
Oh, okay.
That they have cooked down and made it slightly thicker, though not all that much thicker.
It didn't sound very much thicker.
No, than milk. In coffee, it just tastes like a special treat.
You're kidding.
I love it. So if you've never had evaporated milk in your coffee,
I never have.
You really have to try it.
That is so fun.
Mm-hmm. Just if you're having guests over.
Well, maybe we'll try that. That's really fun.
I'd really encourage you to. You have to use a little sweetener if you like sweet stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's not sweet. But it's good.
That's yummy. Yeah. So we have in almost everything but the eggs. We're actually not going to follow Connie's recipe.
What?
Perfectly. No, because here's...
You sound like you have made this decision in advance without consulting your partner in crime.
Little Missy, listen to me right here. I texted you about this and you said yes.
I think she's making it up. Lies.
So we will put the original recipe on the website if you want to follow that.
I like the way she says that. If you want to be a dummy, I cannot be held responsible for your stupidity.
No.
Go ahead and ruin everything.
It's funny because you make it in a jelly roll pan, which is basically a cookie sheet, right?
I remember this now.
Yes. Okay. And so I think that'll probably do wonderful things to it. I think it'll probably be better on a jelly roll pan. But the directions are make it in a jelly roll pan and flip it out onto a plate and then put the frosting on top of it. So I talked to McCall. She said the flipping is very difficult. And I don't have a plate the size of a cookie sheet.
So I thought of this after we had this discussion because I do recall.
Oh,
she's not lying.
No.
Yeah. I have a super tiny jelly roll pan. It's probably about the size of a 9x13 pan. It's just super tiny.
Oh, then we might as well just do it in the 9x13
but
pan.
I could have brought it, is I guess what I'm saying.
It doesn't say what size jelly roll pan, so maybe it was a smaller size.
Yeah.
And this will be fine, but this is really liquidy.
Yeah. Well, because when you said a jelly roll pan, I was thinking like
a big old cookie sheet, right?
Yes.
And maybe that is what she uses, but I didn't have anything for us to flip it out on.
Who does?
Right. And then the idea, I asked McCall, then did she serve it up and give you a dollop of this frosting that we're making? It's with cream cheese and powdered sugar and Cool Whip. Right?
Okay.
And McCall said, no, you spread it over it. So you're spreading it over the baked pumpkin part because when you flip it, the crisp is going to be on the bottom.
Yeah, it's like a pumpkin crisp butterboard.
But what would you scoop it up with?
Your hand.
Hand. Delicious.
A cracker. A piece of pumpkin bread.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh. So we decided to put it in the 9x13 metal pan because I wanted to kind of be like the metal of the jelly roll pan and hopefully it'll cook that way. I don't know if it'll spread out enough to get the consistency that Connie Hoyle used to get.
We may have to cook it a little longer.
Maybe we'll check it.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you remember one of our previous episodes? I read a few very important table manners for us.
I do because there was like eviscerating or something.
No, it was vivisection. You're not supposed to talk about vivisection. Eviscerating.
Eviscerating is also very gross.
Do not talk about that at the dinner table.
She might not have mentioned it specifically.
Right.
But just FYI, folks.
Don't talk about that.
It's a negatory.
Yeah. So anyway, we were talking about Emily Post.
Well, yeah, because we had an Emily Post guide to, I don't know, all things manners.
Well, we did,
in our house. Absolutely.
So I was looking on my bookshelf and I actually had a 1975 Emily Post book. It is one that when I was helping to weed books at a middle school library, They still had this on the shelf.
I mean, and why wouldn't you?
A 1975 Emily Post.
Middle schoolers need some manners, people. Manners.
And I'm like, yeah, I think it's time to get rid of this. And so I took it.
See, now I see. Let's read this book that I want.
This is what it says on the front. Emily Post, the most reliable and up-to-date authority for the social customs of the 1970s.
Well, yeah, she was.
Yeah.
I remember reading that book as a kid.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I did too. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Well, some of it I could tell was for very, very wealthy people. It talked about how to behave toward the maid.
Oh.
And that one single server at your dinner party could not possibly do it all. So don't expect that. Things like that. And I was like, oh. She even talked about something that we had, and we were not bougie or rich, little salt cellars. She talked about how to use a salt cellar if there is no baby spoon in it.
When
we
you
had those.
A little pinch, you just stick your fingers in. Is that not?
The tip of your clean knife.
Oh.
Stick it in and then
I
take
think
it
you
over.
kind of hold it at an angle and blow a little salt on it.
I think the trick is you take your ring finger, you lick a little bit, and then touch, and the salt.
I bet it's your pinky because that's way posher.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. And you grow your pinky real long, and instead of cocaine, use it for the salt
nail. Oh, I'm digging it.
Yeah,
it's my salt nail.
Your salt nail. Oh, God, that's so gross. But she had some delightful sections in here about table manners, and I was thinking about us, 1975 Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Would we have done any of these things?
No, because I was 2.
You would have not. You would have been at the kid table slopping crap all over your face.
All over the place.
Yes. It says your posture. Here it is.
Okay.
Sit straight but not stiffly. Your hands, when not actually eating, should be in your lap. This will prevent you from fussing with implements, playing with breadcrumbs, and drawing on the tablecloth. This is for adults. This is not the children's section. Because what adult is going to be drawing on the tablecloth?
What adult has a writing utensil at the table?
I know, right?
Oh, look, right next to the salt cellar is a pencil. Let me draw on this lovely tablecloth.
That was weird.
I also remember
Yeah.
that we had foam kind of table protective topper.
Oh, yes.
That you would put on the table when you had fancy,
Under
you put
the
all
tablecloth.
leaves in, then you'd put this foam thing on, then you'd put the tablecloth on.
Yes.
And because it was foam, and I do recall this, you could take your fingernail and push, and it would dent in, and you could draw on the table.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't think that's what she meant.
I think that's why they didn't allow you at the adult table pretty much. Well, it is very fortuitous.
Ooh.
This next one, that I wrote this next one down because of our talk of olives.
Oh, let's hear.
It's specifically how to eat an olive.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
Put them on your fingers.
Oh, yes. No. Here it is. You can eat them with your fingers.
Oh.
Bite the meat, but don't nibble too avidly around the stone. Don't nibble too avidly.
Don't do that.
Don't nibble avidly.
Olive.
On an olive. I thought that was hilarious. And then she had very specific ways to eat corn on the cob.
Well, because that's a politeness.
It's a mess. It's a mess. Here are the directions to attack corn on the cob with as little ferocity as possible is perhaps the only direction to be given. Ferocity.
If the corn kernels are flying around your head, you are not doing it the Emily Post
Not
way.
good.
That's
Not good.
Hilarious.
Okay, so it says to pour the mixture into, I put on our new recipe, 9x13 pan, and then we're going to do all the dry stuff. So do you want to pour or do you want, okay, good.
Because you'll yell at me if I do it wrong.
Oh, yeah.
When I grease the heck out this pan, it is super, super greased.
Ew, it is greasy.
It is.
Awesome.
Oh, that's not very thick at all.
No, I think this is going to work perfectly. I bet the jelly roll pan she had wasn't too huge.
It would have to be
It could not be the size of a cookie sheet because who has a plate the size of a cookie sheet?
Well, look at how thin that would be.
Oh, yeah.
That's not even an inch deep.
I think we did okay then. I think this is like a jelly roll pan with just extra tall sides, basically.
Yeah.
Since we're doing the metal, I think this is going to work out great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Listen to her positivity,
I am
people.
so full of that.
That's super nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned the olives. I mentioned the olives on the fingers.
Yes.
I looked up people's various Thanksgiving traditions.
Okay.
And the reason I mention that is because one of them that I saw was every year, they are now adults. They have been doing it since they were children. They put olives on their fingers and pluck them off.
No, they still do that.
Yes, that's their Thanksgiving tradition.
Hilarious.
Yes, is eating olives. I was expecting when I started looking weird things, right? But I found some really fun ones that I thought, some I wrote down are not things that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But some of them I thought were super fun. And I was like, I want to do these now.
Nice. What are they?
Oh, and I'm so glad you asked. Let me tell you. Okay. So one of them was the mom with kids would give her kids like ball jars filled with heavy cream. And all of the kids' jobs was to make butter.
That is so great. That
And
would keep them busy for a long time.
And then they would get to pick the flavors of their butter.
Fun.
So they'd have rosemary butter and garlic butter. And so they could kind of make up their own fun.
That's so clever.
I
want to do that with grandkids when I have them.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't even think of grandkids. I was like, I need more children.
I know.
But I think grandkids is the way to go.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. I don't.
What a fun idea.
I thought that was a really great one.
Yeah.
Okay. Another one was they name the turkey after someone they hate. Because you're carving that sucker up and it kind of makes them feel bad.
That's funny.
I thought that was hilarious.
That's great.
I thought that was a good one.
You know what? I have a friend whose name is Jenny, and she just found out that a young female turkey is called a Jenny, and Jenny was born on Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, it was preordained.
It was.
Sorry.
I wonder if her parents did that on purpose.
I bet they didn't know.
I bet they probably did.
I don't think. Well, is it a male turkey? They call it Tom, right?
Yeah. So she did that. Jenny and Tom.
Okay, the other one that I really liked, I really was feeling this one. Oh. So this family splits the family into two.
Yeah.
And they play a round of beer pong for your life.
What?
And the reason they call it for your life is because the losing team has to clear the table and do the dishes.
That's hilarious. Mom would lose big time. She'd have to do all the dishes. Those were great ideas.
Thank you. I didn't come up with any of them.
That's okay.
It was Reddit.
You found them, and that was very, very nice.
Thank you. Ooh, Kristen's going to pour the cake on top of the pumpkin stuff.
Sprinkle dry cake mix evenly over the pumpkin mixture and pat lightly. I'm going to let you do that. Carrie likes to pat stuff.
Oh, I was like, you started sprinkling. What am I doing?
No, you're doing the pat, pat, pat.
Oh, I
pat,
see.
Pat, pat, pat. This is really liquidy, Carrie.
It is. It is a wiggly woggling.
Yeah, I see why you need to pat it because it does not come out evenly.
I'm not really patting it. I'm just kind of
spread it with your fingers that are impeccably clean.
Oh, was I supposed to wash them?
Yeah, probably impeccably clean would have been a lot better.
Oh, wow.
How much chopped pecans do we need? One cup.
All of them?
All of them. So delicious. So I was thinking about what would have been unusual that we would have had at our Thanksgiving meal. And we've already talked about Aunt Cindy's spinach salad.
Well, yeah.
But there was another thing that I remembered and I haven't had in years, and that is a bird's eye frozen vegetable, green beans with spätzle.
Oh,
do you remember?
They don't make that anymore.
I found it on Instacart.
Really?
Yeah, so I want to get it and try it, but there was not a lot of spätzle in it, and they looked like little white maggots.
They did.
Because when I was in elementary school, I think I may have told this story.
Okay, so I do not think I know this story.
Oh, I think you do. I think I've told it on one of the podcasts before. So I green beans.
Was not listening, so tell it again.
So I'm at school, pizza day. I ate all my pizza. Started on the green beans. There was a maggot in the green beans.
You thought it was spätzle?
I did not. I took it up and said, there's a worm in my green beans. They gave me a whole new tray. I got a second piece of pizza.
Shut up.
I know, right?
Wow.
That was the best day ever.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You had your own little green beans and spätzle.
Yeah.
So I remember now the green beans and spätzle.
Yeah.
But then as time went on, you couldn't find them anymore.
I'm putting all the pecans on. This is like walking on a pool cover.
Have you done that? That is
No,
not safe, Kristen.
it is not safe, but I'm thinking this is what it would be like as I move these pecans around. It goes, it waves.
It does.
Put a little
I
more
don't even
pecans.
remember my story now.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Okay. Oh, we're in luck,
Oh,
people.
lucky
You've
us.
been waiting now for this.
Lucky us.
And it's going to be just as good as you anticipated, I am sure.
Oh, I am sure.
So we had green beans with basil.
Yes.
And then we could not find them anymore.
Yeah.
And so we got the frozen green beans with almonds.
Oh, yes, I remember that now. Ooh.
So
And it's so
tasty.
French. Green beans, almondine.
Ooh la la. I can use my French. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh. Okay, we have this sucker made, except for
What?
we have to drizzle melted butter over the entire pan. And it's not just one stick, it's 2 sticks of butter.
Like it.
So I need to melt this in the 4-cup measuring cup that I have here.
Okay, so before the podcast started, Kristen had an extra measuring cup set out.
Yeah.
It was horrifying, people. Horrifying. What did this measuring cup need measuring for? Why did we have this measuring cup sitting here? What is this extraneous measuring cup doing? Just cluttering our cooking space. It was trauma.
And it's not how I roll.
No, it is the behavior of the ill-prepared.
It really was, but it was actually me being very prepared. It was the measuring cup we were supposed to melt 2 sticks of butter in. But then I couldn't find it. Yeah, anyway, it's a whole story. Nobody cares.
She was prepared. The moral of the story is, fear not, Kristen was prepared.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, it needs a little bit more time to melt this.
Okay,
2
good.
sticks of butter.
Excellent. I'll talk about something else.
Oh, goody gumdrops.
Yeah. So, have you seen the memes? It's from an SNL skit. It's 2 ladies. They talk about the sweater weather. It's sweater weather.
Oh, yes.
I love sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
How about sweater weather?
Yeah.
So, I got thinking about, sweaters of the past. Yes. And you cannot think of sweaters without thinking of The Cosby Show and the Bill Cosby Show.
Oh, that is true.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk about Bill Cosby on The Cosby Show, not as a human being. Okay. So Cliff Huxtable wore crazy sweaters. Yes. And then the rest of the world wore crazy sweaters. And you would see someone and be like, oh my gosh, it's a Cliff Huxtable sweater.
Right.
It was a thing. So what happened is the costumer, because Bill Cosby did so much improv as he was doing that, they had to do multiple takes because he'd improv some, then they'd get him back on. So they ended up doing a lot of headshots. Oh, as they filmed it, which apparently they don't typically do in sitcoms because it's very hard to snip headshots together, particularly because your clothes shift as you move. Like your collar would go funky, your jacket isn't sitting on right. So what they would do is they would sew his collars down onto his funky sweater. The sweaters never moved. They were big, they were baggy, they never moved. So it made it super easy to clip the headshots together.
That is funny. They started an entire revolution.
Yes. Sweater weather.
With sweater weather.
Because of headshots.
That's insane. I had no idea.
I didn't know that was fascinating.
So that was in the 80s, right?
It was.
When the Cosby Show was. And so this is funny. I was thinking about what we would have been wearing in Ohio, Thanksgiving 1975, because I was thinking about this Emily Post, right?
Right.
Also sweater weather.
Yeah.
I was thinking about one that mom would wear. It would have been a thin sweater. It would be horizontal stripe, and it would have a belt made of sweater fabric that you would tie in a little knot in the front.
Yes,
do you remember those?
Yes, and she would wear probably a satiny shirt underneath it because it was a dinner we were dressing up.
Oh, fancy.
With a huge collar.
That's right. The collars were huge. Yeah. Everybody would have been wearing double knit pants.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yep.
Polyester or dye, baby.
All the way.
With the seam up the front.
Yes, the seam up the front. And if you were a kid and you had fancy pants, then they would stitch with white thread all around the outside of the pockets. All the seams were stitched with white thread, no matter what color the pants.
Except white.
Except for white, right? Bright green pants, you see all the white stitching.
Yes, you would.
That was super duper cool, man.
Yes, you would. So we had a garage sale years and years and years ago. We moved out of our house. And my mom, your mom too,
really?
found some outfits that she had stored in the attic.
Oh.
All I remember is one.
Yeah.
I wish I'd have kept it.
Oh.
It was the grooviest thing I have ever
Oh my
seen.
gosh.
And I'm like, Mom, she might have worn this. Maybe for Christmas, maybe not Thanksgiving. It was a green velvet suit.
Yes.
Okay, so it had green velvet pants that were, stretchy and bell bottom.
Of course.
And then it had a sleeveless jacket
Oh,
with a huge velvet collar
Oh my gosh.
and these crazy gold bird cage looking buttons. They were huge. You would button this thing with these huge round bird cage looking thing. I mean, this was in the late 80s. And I was like, this is the most amazing, grooviest thing I have. Like, Mom, like I have a lot more respect for you and rocking this outfit.
She rocked it.
Oh, I wish I'd have kept it.
That's hilarious because that was on my list. That velvet or velour was very popular.
Yes.
And so was corduroy.
Oh, I love corduroy.
Oh, yeah. I think we probably wore little tunic dresses that were made of corduroy with like a turtleneck underneath.
Oh, we have pictures of us in tunic dresses, a lot of brown and gold. There was one that was some plaid.
Oh, plaid was super popular in the 70s as well.
And definitely mustard yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Brown.
Super
plaid.
gorgeous.
I mean, because you've got fall colors in there.
Totally. That would have been Thanksgiving all the way.
Super autumnal.
Yeah. Well, speaking of autumnal gold, look at this butter.
Oh,
it's beautiful.
Look at you and your segue to get us back on track.
Oh my goodness.
Carrie, shut your trap. We have cooking to do.
We got the melted butter here. Okay, here we go.
Oh, she's pouring it, people. She's not jacking it up yet.
Well, just wait.
She better move fast because we're running out of butter quickly.
Oh, this is scary. I thought 2 sticks of butter would make it flood.
It's not at all.
No.
No, she made it all the way across.
And now
you can stop holding your breath. She made it.
That's right.
She made it. So now it's just
doing
getting the corners
and stuff.
And then getting some of those little dry spots in the middle.
It smells really good. The butter kind of
smells a lot like butter.
It does. I smell the cinnamon and the sweet cake. I found this recipe online as well. It wasn't exactly like Mrs. Hoyle's, but they recommended getting butter cake and butter yellow cake. And Mrs. Hoyle's just said yellow cake, but I got the Pillsbury Muzz Supreme golden butter.
Ooh, so it's butter with our butter.
Butter with our butter. Yum, yum, yummy McYummerson.
So now we throw this bad boy in the oven?
Yeah, for an entire hour.
What?
Yeah. So we're going to pop this in. We're going to let it cool. And when we come back, we're going to mix up the frosting.
I was going to go with eat the crap out of it.
Oh, crap. We got to put the frosting on it. It won't be Mrs. Hoyle's recipe unless we get that frosting on it.
What would you think if we make like one little piece and try it without the frosting? Maybe we'll come up with a new dish.
Like a side dish rather than if you don't like sweet potato casserole.
Right.
Maybe this would be good because that frosting is going to add a lot of sweet. Right now, this is just 1 cup of sugar in the pumpkin, which is not too bad, and the cake mix. But when you add the frosting, I think how much powdered sugar? 1.5 cups powdered sugar, a block of cream cheese,
Cool Whip,
Cool Whip.
Very sweet.
Right, so that's going to really sweeten it up. That would be fun. Let's try a little scoop of it without frosting and see if this might be the new favorite side dish instead of sweet potatoes.
Because that's what I'm kind of thinking, that this might be a delicious, easy... I got thinking.
Oh, and she's doing a squat kind of squatty look.
The brain is exploding with geniosity.
She's got a spread eagle to make sure that she is balanced for the geniosity.
Oh my gosh, brace yourself, people. There's so much smartness about to be thrown out.
I'm a little scared.
What if we try it, we like it.
Yeah.
And then you could just divide this bad boy in half.
Yeah.
You could do like an 8x8 pan, right?
Yeah.
Half 8x8, half 8x8.
Yeah.
Frost one side, dessert.
Yeah.
No frost on the other side.
Wow.
2 birds, 1 stone.
Have to eat it twice. That sounds great.
It would
Carrie.
taste
It's a good idea. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to get this.
Gosh.
I'm getting this. Oh, I just picked it up and it sloshed all over the place.
She does not understand my genius.
I really don't. But that's okay. We'll talk about it for an hour. How about that?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay,
I think that's great.
All right. We'll see you guys in an hour. We'll talk about it on our own time.
What?
Yeah.
No, I need their support.
Yeah, no,
I can't handle this level of sarcasm.
Bye. Boy, oh boy, this looks gorgeous.
It really does.
Yeah, it's crisp on the top. I'm touching it. It's crunchy.
It is. Kristen's having some panic that we might have burnt it.
Yeah, it's a little dark on the top. The pecans look mahogany.
They look well roasted.
Well roasted pecans. Yep. I guess I didn't need to worry about the jelly roll pan at all.
No, because we didn't have to cook that longer.
No,
I mean,
really.
That was the time that it was supposed to take.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
We are going to scoop out a scoop.
Yeah.
Unfrosted, put it on the plate. We're going to make the frosting, not in this order, in any order we so desire. We're going to make the frosting and frost the rest, sans scoop.
Yes.
And then we're going to scoop out the frosted and we'll try a little nibble of them both.
Yeah. Doesn't that sound good?
Yeah, it really does. I'm excited about this.
I cannot wait. Okay, so I'm going to make some noise and open up the cream cheese.
Okay.
It's 1.5 cups of powdered sugar. I think we should stir the cream cheese and sugar first.
Okay.
And get that kind of creamy before we try to take the air out of the Cool Whip by mixing it in too much.
We will do whatever makes you the happiest, Kristen.
Goody. Oh, goody, goody.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, this is hard. Okay, so 1975. Back to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you ready?
I know.
Well, no more manners. No more manners.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So vivisection it is, baby.
Baby. Okay, so I'd like to talk about the 1975 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
They're the best.
I just look forward to it every year.
Yes.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean, I love, as a kid, I didn't know what shows were on Broadway. So just the whole idea of Broadway was amazing.
And seeing the Rockettes do their kicks.
Oh, they were just the most beautiful women in the entire world.
So cool. Now, do you have a favorite float from the Thanksgiving Day Parade?
No, I don't have any idea, truthfully. I like just watching the famous people standing on them pretending to sing.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny. Well, my favorite is the turkey because it has those giant winking eyes with the big eyelashes.
Yes.
I love it. And guess who was singing fake songs on the top of the turkey lurkey in 1975?
Barry Gibb.
Oh, that's a great guess. It is actually Dolly Parton.
Oh, Dolly.
I love me some Dolly.
I'm not a big fan of country music.
Right.
But Dolly is one of those people that as she has aged and just continued to be herself in the world, how do you not love that woman?
I know, right?
She's just amazing.
She gets books for children, and she's just such a philanthropist.
I just want to grow up and be like Dolly.
I know. Awesome.
Yeah.
So she was on there singing some song I had never heard of before. Love is like a butterfly.
Oh. That is making very inappropriate sounds, Kristen.
It is. But, hey, it's creamy, and I think that it's going to blend okay with the Cool Whip.
Yeah, you did a good job.
Thank you. Okay, so before we blend in the Cool Whip, let me tell you some of the balloons on the Macy's Parade in 75. Yes, Underdog was one. Bullwinkle was another. But it was such a windy, miserable day that a bunch of them got ripped and destroyed, including some that it was their debut in the parade. So let's see. They had a list of all the horrific things that happened to them. Astronaut Snoopy was punctured by a lamppost on 73rd Street. Underdog ran into another lamppost in Times Square.
Oh, the lampposts were taking them down.
Oh, here's a different one. Smokey Bear's right hand was punctured by a tree at Columbus Circle.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, the brand new Weeble balloon had its torso torn open by a tree on 77th Street and Central Park West.
Well, it's because his torso was huge.
It was huge because Weebles wobble.
But they do deflate.
They do deflate. They totally do. Yeah, so I thought that was cool.
Oh, that's sad.
I mean, sad, but
I wrote a blog about the Thanksgiving parade.
Oh, yeah.
And what I remember is that when they first started doing these things, they had like tons of helium in them. And then they just let them go.
You're kidding.
And then you could find them and send them back. I don't remember if there was an award, a reward, or something like that. But there are all these sightings of balloons all over the place until I'm sure something horrific happened and
a cow ate it and choked to death or something.
Someone was out plowing their field and they got smothered by Underdog, or and then they had to change everything because of some hideous thing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm impressed with the handlers because that cannot be easy.
No, especially when it's windy.
Yes. And
Yeah.
you've got those narrow roads.
Yep, and trees and lampposts everywhere.
Yes.
Danger, danger.
Yes.
Well, this looks like it's mixing up beautifully. We have 1 more 1/4 cup of Cool Whip to put in. I'm trying to stir it kind of carefully to keep the air in because I'm afraid of spreading this over the pumpkin crisp and having it just rip the crisp. Yeah, deflate or rip the crisp to smithereens. So this is looking pretty.
It is pretty good. And Cool Whip is pretty sturdy. It's not like
That's
you whipped
true.
your own cream.
You would never want to put regular whipped cream in
heck
this.
no, it would never
stand up to this.
No.
It would never stand up to even a warm pumpkin crisp either.
No, and ours is still warm. We got sick of waiting, y'all.
Yeah, we did. We want to try this.
Yes. I know patience is a virtue, but
not for us. Okay, shall I start?
Hungry.
We hungry. Oh my goodness. Let me get a little corner piece here. Look
Ooh,
at that.
That looks very
I
tasty.
missed out some of the, it is a very souffle-like consistency. Oh, I got a kind of big piece there, but I'm thinking we might be eating all of this.
What? No.
No way. Okay, let's start. Should we spread it on like a frosting? Just like Mrs. Hoyle did, since we deviated from her plan a little bit.
Honestly, like we said, when he threw it into the 9x13 pan, I can't imagine a jelly roll dish that would have been much bigger than this 9x13 pan because it's not deep. It's pretty shallow.
Yeah, the amount of pumpkin is what she's saying. It's shallow.
It's a little deeper than a jelly roll pan would hold.
Yeah.
But not significantly.
So in my mind, she probably used a smaller size jelly roll pan, rather than the gigantor cookie sheet, as we said before.
I think if you bought like a 3-pack of jelly roll pans, the little itty bitty one that they give you in the 3-pack, that's the one you'd want.
That's cool. Well, spreading this on is a little tricky.
All right. See, look at it. I mean, there's no way you could frost something that was much bigger than
No,
this.
you really couldn't. There's not that much frosting. And it is pulling up the crisp a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you'd want a dollop of this. This is going to be very sweet.
It looks sweet.
It does. Let's taste that frosting just alone and see how sweet it is.
Okay. It's sweet.
It's very good. Very sweet, but very good.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Okay.
So I had a thought just now. Popped into my head. So what the instructions were is to turn it out and then frost it.
Yes.
So actually, we've done this upside down.
We have.
We frosted the crust, ultimately, is what we did.
We did, which I think is kind of odd to have to frost the souffle part, which is more delicate.
But maybe that's why the
crust was coming up a little bit.
Pulling up.
That is gorgeous.
It looks very fall.
It does. Okay. I have been dying to try this ever since we decided to make this recipe. So shall we go for the non-frosted first?
I think we have to.
Here's a spoon for you. Oh, you got it.
I got it.
Okay. I'm going to get this edge piece. That looks really good.
Okay. You eat it and I'll get my piece. That'll be good. And she's chewing and she's grunting.
That's absolutely delicious. And it could replace the sweet potato casserole because it's not cray-cray sweet. Isn't it delicious?
I would do that.
And talk about easy.
I would eat that instead of sweet potato casserole in a heartbeat. Okay, so my mother-in-law, and I think I've said this before, makes hands down the best sweet potato casserole I have ever had in my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
It is delicious. And this tastes very similar to that.
Really?
Very similar, but much easier because it's a can of stinking pumpkin.
Right. That frosting takes it to a whole nother level. The cream cheese turns it into more like a little carrot cake tasting type of dish. But it's delicious, isn't it?
It is. And I'll be honest, that if you served it without the frosting and called it sweet potato casserole, you would eat sweet potato casserole. And then if you came out with the frosting and you called it pumpkin crisp, I don't think anybody who didn't know what you had done would know that that was the same dish.
This is heavenly. You have to make it. It is so easy. And you can make it sweet. It is real sweet. You can make it with or without the frosting.
You absolutely could. I'm serious. I'm thinking.
I think she's crazy with the 2 pans. I don't want to eat the same thing for my meal and for my dessert.
You have to call them 2 different things so that nobody knows.
Let's be honest. Nobody's going to do that. So
I'm totally doing it.
Okay.
2 of these suckers.
That is hilarious. Well, it was really delicious, and it would be a way better side dish than a dish that I found on a woman's list of Thanksgiving tasks and foods to make from 1975. Somebody bought it at an estate sale, and it had this woman's notes.
Oh,
everything she was supposed to do, at what time. And one of the side dishes she made
okay.
were shredded carrots, and she just baked them in the oven for an hour with no seasoning, nothing on them. That was one of their side dishes. This certainly beats that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of their appetizers was Pringles.
I kind of dig this lady.
I thought that was
You know
perfect.
what? She'd serve this as dessert and a side.
Heck yes, she would.
I am feeling as though I am one with this lady.
I think you are, because she had lots and lots and lots and lots of booze on the
Oh,
list.
girl. I love her.
Maybe the carrots were kind of wonky because it does state that she was to prepare them during cocktail hour. So, you know. Yeah.
Well, and you never know. She drink a little whiskey, dip a little whiskey, drink a little, you know.
So maybe there was a little whiskey in those carrots.
Mhm.
You never
You don't
know.
know.
Yeah, this is perfect as a side. This is perfect as a dessert.
Perfect as both.
As both.
Thank you to McCall
Yes, thank you, McCall.
and her mother-in-law
Yes.
for making a delicious, delicious side dish / dessert. I totally understand why her sons were jonesing for this.
And this is so special to have this recipe. It wasn't from just a cookbook.
Yeah.
That was Connie's. This was her actual recipe. It was written on a recipe card. We'll put the picture of the original on the website.
And it was easy. And
so easy.
Kudos to her.
Yes.
I mean, it was no shredded carrots baked, but
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, be sure to mark your calendars for our next episode on December 2nd. We're going to be making one of those recipes that just might become a staple in our family meals, or it might gag us a little. Tune in to find out.
Are we done recording? Can I eat some more?
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Mom's Wooden Spoon. If you like what you heard, don't forget to subscribe. If you want a copy of this recipe or to see the pictures and other items from this episode, go to our website, momswoodenspoon.com. If you'd rather, check us out on Facebook or Instagram. Pick your poison.
Don't say poison. We're making food.
It's very good.
So good. Say it again.
Oh,
so good.
Num, num.
Delicioso.